Hi, Assalamualaikum. I'm Shikin Aziz. In this video, I'm going to explain the relation of sanitation and HACCP. Okay, HACCP is an abbreviation for Hazard Analysis Critical Control Points. Alright. This is HACCP is an internationally recognized system for reducing the risk of safety hazards in food. HACCP describes the process necessary for dealing with the hygiene risk in food production, in food production, and it can be also in other edible food industry, like beverage, pharmaceutical as well. Alright. The H stands for hazard here, and refers to the potential danger which can come from food. While for the analysis here, it describes the investigation of the hazard potential which can result from the food. And this critical, it refers to the decisive factor in dealing with the process. Yeah, for example, raw meat, or raw fish in sushi. Right, there is no further step which kills possible germs. So the entire production and storage cycle is thus can be considered critically for each raw meat, and the raw fish in sushi. Alright, and then for this C, the second C here for control, it refers to the management, steering production, whether it is in a large company, a restaurant, a catering service, or a snack bar. Okay, and what is important happen here is to document, to document the incident and to put the measures taken in writing, and monitoring of the food production condition. And the idea is to recognize possible hazard potential and use suitable measures to steer it, to control it into controllable limits. Alright. And then finally, P for points. This is referring to the sensitive points where checks are needed. These points are essential for the further quality of the product and for hygiene. Alright. Well, alright. The final, CCP, in the abbreviation HACCP here, should always be taken together. This concept, the HACCP concept, is based on the application of prevention and documentation. Alright, there are 7 principles in HACCP which are the core of the systematic approach for the application. Alright, let's look on the next diagram. These are the 7 principles in HACCP. Alright. For principle 1, conduct a hazard analysis. The application of this principle involves listing the steps in the process and identifying where significant hazards are likely to occur. The HACCP team will focus on hazards that can be prevented, eliminated, or controlled by the HCFP plan. And justification for including or excluding the hazard is reported, and possible control measures are identified in this step, in this principle. While for principle 2, identify the critical control points, or also known, commonly known as CCP, simply call it as CCP. Step in this principle, the step or procedure at which control can be applied and a food safety hazard can be prevented, eliminated, or reduced to acceptable levels. The HACCP team will use a CCCP decision tree to help identify the critical control point in the process. Later in this video, I will show the CCCP tree. CCCP decision tree. Right. To help identify. The decision tree is used to help identify the critical control points in the process. Okay. A critical control point may control more than one food safety hazard, or in some cases more than one CCP is needed to control a single hazard. Okay. The number of CCPs needed depends on the processing steps and the control needed to assure food safety. Now let's look on principle 3. Alright, establish critical limits. Alright. A critical limit is the maximum and or the minimum value to which biological, chemical or physical parameter must be controlled at a CCP to prevent, eliminate or reduce to an acceptable level the occurrence of a food safety hazard. The critical limit is usually a measure such as time, temperature, water activity, pH, weight, or some other measure that is based on scientific literature or regulatory standard. Alright. While for principle 4, establish monitoring procedures. Okay, the HACCP team will describe monitoring procedures for the measurement of the critical limit at each critical control point. Alright. And monitoring procedures should describe how the measurement will be taken when the measurement and when the measurement is taken. Alright. We need to know who is responsible. We need to assign, okay, who is responsible for the measurement and how frequently the measurement is taken during production. Alright. Okay. Principle 5. Okay. Establish corrective action. Corrective actions are the procedure that are followed when a deviation in a critical limit occurs. The HACCP team, alright, will identify the steps that will be taken to prevent potentially hazardous food from entering the food chain and the steps that are needed to correct the process. Okay, this usually includes identification of the problems and the steps taken to ensure that the problem will not occur again. Alright. Principle 6, alright, is to establish verification procedures. Okay. These include activities other than monitoring that determine the validity of the HACCP plan and that the system is operating according to the plan. Okay, the HACCP team may identify activities such as auditing of CCPs, record review, prior shipment review, what others, instrument calibration and product testing as part of the verification activities. Okay, and the final principle is establish record keeping procedures. Okay, for these final principles, is actually a key component of the HACCP plan. Is where the recording information can be used to prove that a food was produced safely. The records also need to include information about the HACCP plan. Records should include information on the HACCP team, product description, flow diagrams, the hazard analysis, the CCPs that has been identified, critical limits, monitoring system, corrective action, procedures, verification and verification procedures. Alright. Okay. So when talking about the HACCP, okay, you need to know that, okay, bear in mind, HACCP does not stand alone. Okay. The application of the HACCP does not stand alone in a food processing facility. The plan must be built on other food safety programs such as good manufacturing practice, alright, are considered the building blocks, okay, of HACCP. And sanitation operation procedure SSOP are the cornerstone for an HACCP plan. Alright, so GMP, alright, will support HACCP plan and will address food safety and food quality issues that are not critical for the reduction of food safety hazards. Okay, SSOP address procedures for clean facilities. Let's see here, SSOP. Okay, SSOP address procedures for clean facilities, equipment, and personnel that are necessary for all product produced in a facility. And this GMP, okay, GMP and HACCP, alright, are essential prerequisite, okay, before implementing a HACCP system. Okay, okay, let's look, okay, the details of prerequisite. Okay, this slide show a list of prerequisite, the detail of prerequisite programs for HACCP that support HACCP. Okay, let I move my video to here. Alright, good. Okay, so if you look at here, okay, okay, we have premise. Okay, the design, building design or premises design, and facilities, service such as potable water, ventilation. If let's say some industry they use ice water, steam. Alright, we need as well to monitor the quality, okay, and to check, alright, whether is it suitable for our production. And then the transportation storage, alright, okay, we need to identify what type of temperature, the condition that we need for the storage, maintain the personal hygiene, hand washing, okay, and then the practice, hygiene practice in make sure that there is a good hygiene practice in the manufacturing area, okay, and then cleaning and sanitations. Okay, production equipment, traceability. For production equipment, it's important for us to ensure that the cleanliness of the production equipment is maintained, and then the cleaning schedule. Okay, we must have a proper cleaning schedule, and then let's look on traceability and recall. Okay. The maintenance, waste management, staff training is also considered a prerequisite program. Alright, so for staff training, this also there is a relation with cleaning and sanitation. We must make sure that our staff has a proper training for cleaning and sanitation, so that we can ensure that the practice done in our manufacturing area is correct and sufficient. Alright, and pest control, approved suppliers program, and operational control, which involve policy, procedure, work instruments, instruction. So I won't explain into detail of all the prerequisite programs here, but what I would highlight here is the how cleaning sanitation has a relation among this prerequisite program. Alright, so for staff training, okay, it will also have it have a relation with the cleaning and sanitation. Waste management, of course, we need to identify a proper waste management, because once we have a cleaning, we have a chemical waste. Alright, and then approved suppliers. Okay, once we dealing with cleaning and sanitation, we should have supplier, supplier or trusted supplier for our chemical and sanitation product to ensure that it is safe for food production, okay, for food manufacturing. And this, the potable water, all right, we need to ensure that it is suitable for our cleaning and sanitation, so that it won't create or it won't make the residue or the fouling deposit become more severe, all right, if we don't have a proper treated water, all right. And then building design, prior to building, prior of designing the factory, it is important that we have take into account, okay, take into consideration the facilities, okay, the area for cleaning and sanitation, okay, and to ensure that the design will facilitate the procedure for cleaning and sanitation, okay. And the selection of production equipment also, we must make sure that it will ease the procedure for cleaning and sanitation. And what's others, okay, I think, okay, that's among the things, among the programs that will have relation with cleaning and sanitation, okay. So you can see how HACCP has a relation with cleaning and sanitation, okay. Now you see, okay, now you see. Okay, so now let's look where sanitation play roles in HACCP plan. Okay, so I don't want to brief so detail about the HACCP, but this video is more to create the awareness of the students and of the listener here, how HACCP has a relation with the cleaning. So we will go through very quick on the HACCP plan here. There are actually 12 steps in HACCP plan. Okay, and this is the step 1: assemble HACCP team, describe product, identify intended use, construct process flow and plan schematic. Okay, number 5: on-site verification of flow and schematic, list hazard associated with each process steps. Okay, list of the hazard. Alright, and then apply hazard decision tree to determine the CCCP. At this area, where when we apply the decision tree, most of the time we will use cleaning and sanitation as our prevention method. Okay, so then we can avoid a certain process to become a critical limit point. Alright. And number 8 is establish critical limit, establish monitoring procedures. Then number 10, establish deviation procedures, establish verification procedures. And then number 12, establish record keeping documentation for principle 1 to 6. Alright, this principle 1 to 6. Okay, this is principle 1 related to principle 1. Alright, here. Alright. And then we have others, principle 2. This is related to principle 2, principle 3, principle 4, principle 5, principle 6 and principle 7. Alright, at this stage as well, there is also relation with cleaning and sanitation. Please note that the cleaning and sanitation also might have CCPs, their own CCPs. Okay, so while with these other principle, okay, will also have an effect on the CCP, not CCP, cleaning and sanitation procedure. Okay. Okay, let's look on the decision tree here. This is an example of decision tree. Till 4 step of this is 4-step decision tree. Okay, so let's look at this first question. Alright, do control measures exist as this step or subsequent step for the identify hazard? If let's say you select yes, okay, and then the next question would be, does this step eliminate or reduce the likely occurrence of a hazard to an acceptable level? If the answer is no, and then we proceed to number 3, could contamination with identified hazard occur in excess of acceptable level, or could this increase to an unacceptable level? If let's say you answer yes, we need to proceed to 4, and the answer question is, will a subsequent step eliminate identified hazards or reduce the likely occurrence to an acceptable level? If let's say we answer no, then this point, the point that we analyze are going to be a critical control point, the point of the process in our manufacturing system. Alright, but if at question number 1, if we answer no, do control measure exist at this step or subsequent step for the identify hazard? If let's say it's no, then it will go to the next step, which is control at this step necessary for safety. The question, the next question that need to be answered is control at this step necessary for safety. If let's say yes, then you need to modify the step or process of product. Alright, so okay, let's look. Okay, I would like to show you where is normally cleaning and sanitation will become a correction or preventive measures, okay, for the hazard. Okay, let's say at this point, okay, the number 3 here, okay, could contamination with identified hazard occur in excess of acceptable level, or could this increase to unacceptable level? Yes. Right, yes. Oh, sorry, number 4, the number 4 question here. Alright, okay, will a subsequent step eliminate identified hazard or reduce the likely occurrence to an acceptable level? Alright, if let's say we propose the next step is cleaning and sanitation to eliminate the hazard of, let's say, biofilm, okay, biofilm in our water filtration, let's say, in our water filtration or in our water treatment. Okay, so we suggest that we were going to perform cleaning and sanitation for the next step at the filtration device. So when we answer yes, basically we eliminate one critical control point in our manufacturing system already. Alright, so this is example. Okay, so alright, so basically sanitary hold on. I don't know where is my mouse. Okay, so basically sanitary and efficient equipment and instruments are especially fundamental parts of the HACCP system. If these are maintained and used properly, it is possible to construct effective and efficient HACCP system. So the fundamental parts of prerequisite program for the HACCP is excellent cleaning and sanitation, prevent build-up of waste, okay, and easy maintenance. Alright, so I hope this video will help you to understand how cleaning and sanitation can have a relation with HACCP. Alright, okay, hope this helps. Thank you. Bye.